Funding provided by
Musco Lighting is honored to support Iowa PBS. We're an Iowa company that lights local schools, community fields, and stadiums, arenas, and venues in more than 125 countries. While our reach is global, our commitment is local.
Fareway Meat and Grocery. For more than 80 years, Fareway has been proud to be an active part of the communities we serve. Learn more at fareway.com.
Across Iowa, hundreds of neighborhood banks strive to serve their communities, provide jobs, and help local businesses. Iowa banks are proud to back the life you build. Learn more at iowabankers.com.
With our Iowa roots and Midwestern values, Farmers Mutual Hail is committed to offering innovative farm insurance for America's farmers, just as we have for 6 generations. Farmers Mutual Hail, America's crop insurance company.
It's time for state championship soccer. Here from the Cyclone Sports Complex in Ames, Iowa PBS is proud to bring you the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Soccer Championships as we conclude Championship Saturday with the Class 2A title match as second-seeded Dallas Center-Grimes takes on the Go-Hawks of Waverly-Shell Rock. Hi again, everyone, with Jake Johnson, the head coach of Cedar Rapids Xavier. I'm BJ Shaban, and this is the third time in the last 4 years that these two teams are going to be competing against one another. And, Coach, when you look at this matchup, we can expect the same, a great, great match.
Absolutely. The field is starting to dry out. The skies are clear. We have tons of fans in the audience ready to see the matchup that's been in the making for multiple years now.
Well, let's get introduced to the teams. Here's today's public address announcer, Jason Esslinger.
Ladies and gentlemen, the IGHSAU Golden Plaque of Distinction Award honors the Iowa coach who has demonstrated a successful career while making notable contributions towards school, community, and the coaching profession. Presenting the 2025 Golden Plaque of Distinction Award is Girls Athletic Union Soccer Administrator Gary Ross and IGHSAU Executive Director Aaron Gerlich. The soccer recipient of the 2025 Golden Plaque of Distinction Award is Mark Royer of Council Bluffs Thomas Jefferson. Mark has been coaching at Council Bluffs Thomas Jefferson for 38 years, and he's been coaching the Yellow Jackets girls soccer team since soccer became sanctioned by the IGHSAU in 1998. He has led Jefferson to one state tournament appearance in 2003 while earning District Coach of the Year honors. He owns a record of 264, 228, and 2, and has had at least one player earn all-state honors every year since 2003. Mark has served a stint on the IGHSAU Soccer Advisory Board and has been a highly decorated official. He's been a state tournament referee at the Girls State Basketball Tournament 18 times, including working 5 state title games. He's also been a state tournament line judge at the State Volleyball Tournament 8 times. Mark also serves as the Yellow Jackets softball coach. He is a paraeducator in the autism program at Council Bluffs Thomas Jefferson High School. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the 2025 soccer recipient of the IGHSAU Golden Plaque of Distinction from Council Bluffs Thomas Jefferson, Mark Royer. Congratulations, Mark. Fans, we'd like to welcome you to the 2025 Girls State Soccer Championship presented by Iowa Farm Bureau. Today's matchup features the Mustangs from Dallas Center-Grimes and the Go-Hawks from Waverly-Shell Rock. It's time to introduce the players for today's Class 2A State Championship. First, let's meet the players from Dallas Center-Grimes. Their non-starters include Camden Byer, number 4, Addie Lane, number 6, Paisley Heidgerken, number 8, Kylie Jansen, number 10, Aubrey Reggio, number 13, Emma Benkendorf, number 15, Jaden Chandry, number 17, Reed Borland, number 19, Elle Starman, and number 99, Chloe Evans. Now let's meet the starters for the Mustangs. Number 0, Emerson Torski. Number 1, Alexandra Hoffbauer. Number 3, Landry Glasgow. Number 5, Neela Williamson. Number 7, Kenna Knief. Number 9, Anna Mickelson. Number 11, Leah Folkerts. Number 12, Ava Mickelson. Number 14, Alexa Gill. Number 16, Olivia Avers. And number 18, Riley Renz. The head coach for Dallas Center-Grimes is Dan James. He's assisted by Mark Bennett, Jeff Kane, and Jalen Raymond. Now let's meet the players on the home team, the Go-Hawks from Waverly-Shell Rock. Here are their non-starters. Number 3, Emma Smith. Number 8, Addie Baker. Number 11, Lindy Hubbard. Number 13, Kennedy Wykers. Number 16, Emma Anhalt. Number 17, Joanne Butler. Number 18, Lauren Gade. Number 19, Molly Hunselman. Number 20, Annalise James. And number 22, Brooklyn Millerman. The starters for the Go-Hawks. Number 1, Stella Reichertz. Number 2, Mallory Nuss. Number 4, Jalen Kent. Number 5, Amelia Avon. Number 6, Maya Behrens. Number 7, Sydney Bieneman. Number 9, Gracie Aben. Number 12, Mia Englund. Number 14, Addie Ott. Number 15, Annika Ott. And number 21, Abby Angel. The head coach for the Go-Hawks is Scott Shera. He's assisted by Kaylee Vetty and Jessa Thorne. The officials for tonight's match, the center referee is Sean Geiza. Assistant referees are Peter Burgum and Matt Wolk. Your fourth official today is TJ Hitchman. Ladies and gentlemen, let's play Class 2A Championship Soccer.
All right, here we go. Dallas Center-Grimes, Waverly-Shell Rock. They have a storied history over the last 5 years against one another. Let's look at the resumes for this go-around. For the Mustangs, their 16th trip to state, 3-time defending state champs. This is their 5th straight title game. We're used to them. Hope you are too. Only 4 teams have scored a goal, though, against the Mustangs. Nuts since an 0-2 loss to Waverly-Shell Rock back on May the 3rd. Meanwhile, for the Go-Hawks, their 19th trip to state, junior Annika Ott leads the team in scoring 38 goals. And how about their keeper? Stella Reichertz has allowed just 3 goals all season, including just 1 during the regular season. That's the fewest in Class 2A. Well, the coaches are setting their lineups here. Jake, when you look at this matchup, they know each other very, very well. What can we expect in the early goings?
There could be some time just to feel out, let the game settle a little bit with the nerves. So both, you could maybe start off the game seeing play very direct and trying to press defensively to cause some turnovers in the opposition's half. And then after those 5 minutes, that's where the chess match starts, to see kind of how the two teams are going to line up and adjust to each other.
As we look at the keys to the game for Dallas Center-Grimes, what do the Mustangs need to do?
I think the Mustangs are a very sound defensive team, so that, transition from defense into setting up their offense. As they transition forward, they also send 5 players forward to try to press their opponents and take on players from wide spaces. And so I think that's some particularly interesting matchups to see, as Waverly plays kind of with 4 in the back, so leaving some outside space to potentially exploit.
And while we're at it, Waverly-Shell Rock with the blast. It'll be a goal kick here coming up for the Mustangs, who are wearing their white uniforms, away uniforms. As for the Go-Hawks, Coach, here are the keys. What do you think about that work for what the Go-Hawks need to do to be successful?
Well, I think consistent pressure for both directions is going to be probably top of their priorities. Not allowing for DCG to be able to progress out of their defensive half, I think, is a tactic that is employed well by Waverly-Shell Rock and has been all year. You can see the center back right now encouraging that team to continue to high press. As well, I think this surface is very nice. It had rained quite a bit, so right now early in the game there's going to be a lot of the ball skipping around and taking time to adjust there. But as the field surface starts to dry up a little bit, I think the team that adjusts well will have even the advantage during the time there too.
When you think about it too, with Lindy Hubbard, you saw her in the introduction. She was a key part to this team throughout the season. Injured herself earlier in the state tournament, so the Ott sisters expected to be, well, a little bit more explosive today to give them a shot against the Mustangs as we go end-to-end. Opportunity here, trying to streak forward is Glasgow, and she'll be tipped up on, and it will be a corner kick here coming up for Dallas Center-Grimes. Glasgow, one of the two captains on this squad for DCG. And we'll see who do the corner chores here for the Mustangs, as it is a large crowd here for the 2A final. And in fact, standing room only on the side, as Dan James told us. He said this is going to be a big one. Now centering in, and the quick whistle, and a foul's going to be called against Dallas Center-Grimes. Even as you saw Reichert bobble that ball, there was a push on the initial kick from the near side by Mickelson.
That's right, referee staying on top of everything, knowing how important set pieces are in finals. Seems like he's not letting them get away with anything.
This will roll out, and we'll see another corner kick here coming up for the Mustangs.
Now this could just be dangerous due to just the numbers, the wet surface like we described there. Goalkeeper, letting the ball out initially there. So DCG kind of sees those moments. It's early in the game, playing direct. They've sent two on the corner and not having Waverly respond. Still playing it long though.
The sophomores, that one's headed back up towards the net. Going to be lofted up by Williamson, but it's out. And it will be a goal kick here coming up for Waverly-Shell Rock. So the Go-Hawks have been tested here early on, 18-0-1 coming into this championship match.
You don't go undefeated all year if you give up many set pieces. So, they've gotten by with it there. We're still in this first early stages of the game, feeling each other out. DCG might be looking to, take advantage of potentially some nerves, definitely wet surfaces, and try to, again, press as much as possible to earn those set pieces.
Here's Ott through traffic, a lot of it. Clears it to her teammate down the near sideline. That's Englund. Can't catch up with the ball.
There's the surface starting to potentially dry up, but it's still slick. So that the weighting of those passes, it's going to take some time to adjust. This is a different kind of surface than they're used to playing on all year. It's not turf, it's not grass, it's a combination of the two. And again, as the game progresses, we might see the surface dry up a bit, and so maybe that ball stays in 30 or 40 minutes later.
Let's not forget, it's the third game played today, but it is holding up extremely well.
Absolutely, a fantastic atmosphere, venue to showcase the talent of, the Iowa high school girls.
This will stay in as we'll play along the near sideline. Controlling it, the Addie Ott. Again, there's a set of twins and a set of triplets on Waverly-Shell Rock's team. As this will be blast down off into the corner. Again, Waverly-Shell Rock been defensively stout throughout much of the season here at the state tournament. Seen a few goals scored against them, but they've come in the waning minutes, beating Indianola in the opening round 5-1, taking care of ADM in the semifinals 3-1 to advance here to the championship match. First time in a couple of years these two have played. Again, 3 out of the last 4 have been these two schools in the 2A title match. That's how good they've been. As Mickelson will try to connect with Glasgow down the field. But again, 4 Go-Hawks back in those yellow jerseys.
Yeah, it's going to be a game where the midfield is very jammed. And with both teams looking to bypass the midfield, it's going to be a test of athleticism to see who can get underneath these balls to win those moments of transition and to fully complete them, you know, getting into the offensive half and seeing what opportunities can open up.
From the throw, Glasgow. Oh, good tackle, and taking away the ball was Barons, but it still belongs with the Mustangs. Knief.
And there's just another example of, again, putting pressure on the opponents. It's a wet, sloppy day. So, you know, being able to take care of business under pressure with the nerves consistently on such a surface, I think both teams in the initial run could benefit from playing direct, trying to get themselves to capitalize on those little opportunities during transitions and turnovers in their opponent's half.
Waverly-Shell Rock bounced in the opening round a year ago against North Scott. Now we'll try to target it deep. It will be cleared out by Riley Renz, and will be a deep throw inside of the offensive zone here for Waverly-Shell Rock. Everybody back from last season's squad for Waverly-Shell Rock. A really determined effort throughout the season. As the throw comes from Bieneman. Ott in the middle, in traffic, it'll squirt through and then punch back out by Folkerts. And off of the high ball, that will go out, and we'll see a goal kick here coming up for the Mustangs.
Referee took a glance just to make sure that it hadn't been a handball in the box, but you'd kind of hate to see that separate aside as giving up an errant handball.
Mustangs won the Little Hawkeye Conference with a 6-0 record, and they did not give up a goal in conference play. In fact, opened up the state tournament against a conference foe in Pella and took care of business there to advance to, well, I won't mention it too much, Coach, but they took care of Xavier in the semifinals 2-0 to advance here to the championship match. What'd you see out of that game from a couple of days ago here?
Oh, it was a great game. It was showcasing two very talented teams. You know, 0-0 at half, opportunities in both directions. Two teams that were very strong defensively, in particular.
Foul going to be called against the Mustangs.
Yep, and that's a foul where, you know, if you can make it uncomfortable and difficult for your players to play out of the back, DCG is rewarded by that by dropping in defensively, now getting all 11 behind the ball. So something to watch out there for is that tactic throughout the game and putting a little pressure on the referee in that regard to manage.
Ott able to get it ahead to Englund. Trying to get it right back to Ott. Mustangs swarm and convert it to go the other way. Knief with some space.
Good decision there to turn back and recognize numbers, and now they're transitioning into this final third, and I think if they can keep that up, they're going to find those opportunities from their wide players to progress into the half spaces wide and keep attacking.
How about this, the turnaround, but again, Mustangs have a couple players back, running the 3-5-2 formation, and they've caused havoc at midfield here so far in this one.
Now the surface is not muddy, and it is slick, and it is prime for people sliding around. So this one, as I believe Dan James had mentioned, is possibly just going to be a dogfight, as it's been over the years between the two.
Hoffbauer now with the ball. Tries to go to the outside.
These are these one-on-one matchups that I think could play a big role and difference in the game.
Trying to slide it back to Hoffbauer, blocked away by the Go-Hawks. Good battle for the ball, and a foul going to be called on the Mustangs.
Yep, and again, playing very aggressively, but now able to recover defensively. Back behind the ball, can set up and be ready to transition and counter again.
Take a look at it again. Kenna Knief called for the foul. She said, I was locked up. It's going to be physical throughout the afternoon here.
Absolutely, it's a final. Wouldn't expect anything different.
Go-Hawks will get it here on the throw with Bieneman. I think the title history, Scott Scher has been here before. Of course, took some time off as the head coach for Waverly-Shell Rock. And since his return, this program has always been stout, always been sound. And What a history. No whistle. Clean play on the tackle.
Yeah, she's holding her head a little bit, so I wonder if possibly had been stepped on during the collision after.
Ott unable to track that one down. So again, 10 minutes into the contest, still scoreless between these two.
Yeah, now is where the game starts to open up a little bit. If tactics are going to shift from playing more direct and pressing, I think you always kind of see that. But as that initial kind of nervous energy starts to wane a bit, I think more space will start to open, more passes into feet, and then again, relying on those offensive producers in either direction to start making a difference.
See our first sub of the game. Annalise James will come into the contest as she replaces Gracie Aubin. Aubin has a sister, Amelia, on the team. They're actually not just twins, they're triplets. Their other sister does not play soccer.
That's a good job using the body just to control possession, play simple. Again, the surface being a little bit slick, they're starting to connect more passes and dictate the pace of the game. Waverly kind of electing to have some wide players stay high, which could be effective against DCG's back three. They have two center defensive midfielders who plug the channels centrally, but there, again, could be spaces out wide where the wingers might be dangerous.
Out ahead, Knief. Again, the defense there for the Go-Hawks.
And that space right there. Now Fields opened up.
Angel trying to lead it ahead. Good pass to Hoffbauer. In traffic. Again, right at the midfield. We're just going back and forth. That's how good these two teams have been. Here's Ott. Williamson will say no.
There we see the midfielders of both teams starting to find these open spaces, settle the game down a little bit, finding each other's feet. So tactics beginning to shift here around the 27-minute mark.
And I thought we might see a whistle, and we do. Referee Sean Geiza says, okay, let's slow this thing down a little bit as it became physical, going back and forth right at midfield, kind of wearing that area out.
That's right. It's another foul in the offensive half for DCG. Again, they can drop behind the ball defensively. So is it a foul that was worth giving up? Some would argue yes.
Again, just terrific play. Alexa Gill that time. Now we'll run it ahead with Hoffbauer. Alexa pitching it out to the outside. Glasgow trying to go one-on-one. Has the magic foot with her left foot towards the net, and right there to haul it in is Stella Reichertz.
Good job from Landry to get herself out wide, turn up her opponent so she could face and take her on one-on-one. That's what you want to see out of your strikers.
Mustangs in the right spot at the right time.
Some space in the midfield now opening up.
Annika able to deliver that ball away to Angel. Beg your pardon, England will be bodied, the ball free into open space.
And there's the physicality part of the game right there.
And a foul going to be called, and we're going to see a free kick here coming up inside of the zone for Waverly-Shell Rock. Again, physical play.
Yep, and kind of as soon as the foul is given up, just hop right up and jog back and hope the referee loses you in the mix.
Olivia Ewers.
Yeah, studs are down on that tackle, so I think a decent decision by the referee not to caution that player, but something to kind of keep in mind. We're still on a wet surface, and these are dangerous set-piece opportunities. It's different from, you know, your offensive half giving those up, but in and around the box on these wet days, you don't want to give up too many of those. Those are kind of moments that also transition momentum, and we'll see if Waverly actually produces a couple more chances after as a result.
So that free kick wide by Ott. Now Torski in at net. Sophomore, won the championship last year as a freshman. And Dan James has said she's just gotten better as the season has moved on in her sophomore campaign.
Well, that's what they say. Pressure is a privilege. So to be able to perform in this atmosphere with this crowd, with this energy, and for these stakes, it's great for player development. Not a better atmosphere.
Sean, guys are going to let things play out a little bit, as you saw there. Getting very physical, as you would expect between the two. The blast up at the top, right at the point, but wide right.
There's that momentum change I was talking about. Waverly starting to get a few more chances here after that shift, getting a foul in and around the box.
So a goal kick for Torski. Going to be played back. This might be a chance. Quickly turned around, though, by Behrens.
It's a great ball for a couple reasons. The first is that those pressing players are not rewarded for pressing there because, you know, they weren't able to win it off if we get close enough. And, you know, the transition attempt there was to the winger, which is on the side of the two center defensive midfielders for DCG where there could be space. That's, again, kind of something to watch out for in this next half to see if that pays out for them.
The ball handling by both of these two have been exceptional so far.
It has, and again, as the game progresses and all of a sudden the energy kind of dissipates a bit from those early initial feeling out period, I think you're going to see some more combination play. You're going to see spaces open up, and the midfield tacticians start to make a bigger difference in the game.
Alexa Gill still being physical, able to get that ball free for Dallas Center-Grimes. Can the Go-Hawks work with it here?
Again, nice job transitioning through the winger there.
Anglin can't get her footing.
Field surface still wet, so it hasn't dried up quite enough for the ball to start to hold up and play.
And Anglin going to be whistled for the foul here, and a free kick here coming up for Dallas Center-Grimes. You know, these two teams, they played in wet conditions on Tuesday. And Dan James said, you know what, we actually played better in the rain.
Yeah, I think it's a mentality thing. You know, as a coach, I don't like to coach in the rain, but I love to play. Love to play in the rain. So, you know, it's a lot of fun. It's you know, also at this time of year too, it can be pretty hot. So, you know, you have to kind of think about how deep off your bench you have to go to make sure you can sustain a certain style of play. But with, you know, the weather being as it is, this is gonna, you know, bode well for keeping the athletes on the field and not getting as tired just because of the heat. But a lot of goals in the first round games, especially because of the weather. The score lines were just out of control. Very back and forth games as well. So on a wet day like today, we saw in the last final 3-2, which is 5 goals in a final. That's not necessarily very typical. I think the weather contributes to that, absolutely. And so this one, I'm not too sure we'll stay at zeros for long. But we're kind of waiting for some more clear opportunities from either side.
Missed opportunity there on the lead pass ahead as it'll be scooped up by Reichertz. And a goal. The keeper has been on her toes here. Stella Reichertz here early on. Just had a save a moment ago after a shifty kick by Knieve.
Yep, she settled in quite nicely. I think she's kind of in the zone now after those first couple minutes of dealing with the early pressure. Much more sure.
Williamson pass just went wide, so Waverly-Shell Rock will have a throw in here. Go-Hawks, the history in the state championship hasn't been favorable. 1-5 all time in school history. But the one, well, it came against Dallas Center-Grimes, in which they won 5-1 back in 2019. And then the Mustangs took over from there as they've gone on their own state championship run. Here's Hyde Gherkin, who will try to lean it ahead. And how about Reichertz coming up? Took some risk.
Yep, and just hunting that ball down, just making sure that if any bobbles happen, anything on a wet day, she's there to put the ball in the net.
Look out for that freshman in Hyde Gherkin. 2 assists against Pella, a goal against Xavier.
Great hustle.
Annika Ott And we'll go to Dallas Center-Grimes. She's been bottled up. That's been the message. They somewhat have her mark here in this first half. Annika Ott does Dallas Center-Grimes.
Yeah, she's playing in a spot where there's two center defensive midfielders that can mark her up. Great checking of the shoulder there to see if she could turn, slipping the ball, see if she can get it back at her feet. This should be a...
England to the outside with an opportunity. Inside of the zone, the centering pass. Williamson will kick it out. And it will be a corner kick here coming up for Waverly-Shell Rock.
It's a fantastic job from Neela there. She played center back for the last 2 seasons and had moved up into the midfield. So that's actually the deepest player there, being the center defensive midfielder. Reading the moment, knowing to cut off that back post, because that was a for sure tap-in moment. Good opportunity for Waverly.
Mallory Nuss from the corner.
Now, sometimes getting a substitution in this moment can help defensive teams here to, kind of regroup, reorganize, and kill a little bit of that momentum.
Nuss with 13 assists this season, 7 of those off of corners. This one towards the net, going to be headed out and away. Goal kick here.
That's one of those moments where even if it was an unsuccessful corner, still put it in the mixer. They still had to deal with it defensively. And those are those things that can start building momentum here with just under 18 minutes left in the first.
Yeah, it's been back and forth, each team with some mild opportunities here in the opener. And it's, as you mentioned, Coach, it's been about momentum.
Yeah.
And right now Waverly-Shell Rock appears to have it.
Yep, that's right. And kind of dealing with those ebbs and flows, sometimes when the momentum's against you, you have to kind of suffer together as a group. And then as soon as you have those moments of transition where you get a little bit of a foothold in the game, recognizing those and kind of choosing to be a little bit riskier.
Emma Smith into the contest here now for Waverly-Shell Rock. Torski from her own net. It's a big, long, deep ball as it skips ahead of traffic. And the Mustangs will throw it from the side.
And there's where, goalkeeper did a great job of, doing the simple task of hitting a goal kick into the right area, far enough away where they're not able to pick up a turnover and then a counterattack down the middle. Those are the ways that you kind of kill off that momentum.
Volker's going to be whistled for the foul. Free kick right near midfield.
Now again, kind of delaying the play there, is able to get the full team behind the ball.
Center direct kick. Deep, going to be headed towards the net, but just to the side. Was trying to give it a whirl that time was Smith.
Yeah, Waverly's knocking so far. DCG again with 2 of their players committed forward and with the outside mids not far after. They're still dangerous on the counterattack. So as Waverly starts to push forward, kind of something to watch out for is teams that are dangerous on the counter. And I would say DCG is definitely one of them.
Coming into the season, the Mustangs with really, some mild title expectations, maybe just within the players and the team. And they lost 6 starters from last season's squad. And for them to be able to make it back to state, well, that's what they're thinking is something pretty special, especially as senior dominated as they were a year ago.
That's right. They'd lost a lot of offensive producers, but have been able to put themselves right back into this situation here in the title match. Which is really a great job done from the coaching staff to kind of build that culture and expectations and foster in the younger class to, be ready for the opportunity when it came.
You'd mentioned knocking on the door, Dan James, 344 career victories in his 26th season. That's a lot.
That's a lot. That is quite a few. And I'm sure over the years that all of those wins have had to look different as well.
Certainly have. In fact, asked him about, the new way or the tie now for Iowa high school soccer in the regular season, because they did have one of those this year, going 14-4-1, entering this one today. How do you feel about the tie? He said, I'm okay with it. Said it helps keep his players fresh instead of logging those extra minutes throughout the regular season.
Yep, that is very true.
Ott gonna break free. Her opportunity. Ott challenges the keeper, but what a stop! Torski able to say no.
Great job from the keeper coming out and closing down the angle as soon as possible. There's Waverly knocking again to see if they can continue to build that momentum.
Boy, you have one of the best scorers in the state in Annika Ott charging towards the net, and Torski, the sophomore, steps up and says no.
And what's weird too is sometimes moments like that where a keeper steps up and does something great, you know, can actually cause an opportunity for their team offensively as well. So game is starting to open up a little bit more. See the replay here. Keeper did a great job of reading that last touch and coming out as soon as she had taken that touch, knowing that she can't manipulate the ball to shoot, you know, timing that well.
As a keeper, do you scout that? Do you know the tendencies?
No, you train it.
Okay.
Goalkeepers are a different breed as well, so you're born with a little bit of know-how, a little bit of confidence, and physicality as well to put your body on the line as much as they do. She did a great job there.
Now can the Mustangs turn the momentum back to their side with under 13 minutes to play here in the opening half? Still scoreless, each team with a couple of shots on goal. And the defenses have held. This is going to be a sprint to the outside.
There you go, they win a corner.
And a corner kick here coming up for the Mustangs.
If they score this one, they can thank their goalkeeper.
That one last touch by Aubin, who will guard the post.
Yeah, DCG doing a good job of hiding kind of some of their more dangerous players there. Waverly kind of sitting in a zonal system, but still having some of their players mark. Hopefully they, you know, pick out the exact players that they need to mark up, and DCG is going to kind of scramble around to free up those runners.
Ellie Starman doing the corners, the freshman. Again, we'll put it towards the net. That one going to be headed back out.
Again, great job dealing with those set pieces.
Starman trying to figure out where open teammate is as that one is blasted back out. Dallas Center-Grimes going deep into their bench, as this is the 7th player that has entered the contest off the bench for the Mustangs. Normally you see that during the heat of a state tournament, and we were playing on consecutive days, but Dan James knows he's got a very deep bench.
He does, and to the benefit of having a deep bench.
Opportunity and over the net. Wow, having a good look at it. And just coming up a little bit short were the Mustangs and Olivia Ewers.
Yep, one of those where I think the keeper coming out might have thrown her off a little bit. She had tried to, I think, lift it over the keeper as you saw her coming off the line, and, you know, just did enough to make it an uncomfortable shot.
Good tussle for the ball. Hoffbauer will control for the moment. Well, what a battle with her and Aubin. Hoffbauer to the middle.
Again, lots of runners in the box, expecting those one-on-ones from wide and then filling the box to be ready to pounce.
Mustangs will go on the throw. Ewers will give way to her teammate.
Now, something to look out for is Waverly's left wingers hanging out up high, which they can transition through if they can get the ball to her quickly, as DCG is kind of committed players centrally.
How about Reichert's in traffic with Gill closing in, able to haul that ball in.
The constant hunting for the ball in the midfield. It's a great battle. There you go, and the crowd reacting for it. Both teams are all about it.
Ott colliding that time with Starman. And we'll see more from the bench. Coming back in is Knief. Also checking in for Waverly-Shell Rock is Kennedy Wykers, the senior.
Now, the benefit of having the ability to rotate players as often as this is the tempo stays high. The strategy of pressing and playing direct and aggressive soccer is maintained. So I don't think we're going to see kind of a break in action here of opportunities for the rest of this half, let alone the rest of the game. Ooh, another foul given up in the offensive half.
Big free kick here coming up. Well, Weichers forcing the issue there.
I don't necessarily have a foul count, but I would say DCG maybe on a ratio of 2-3 times the amount of fouls. As long as Waverly doesn't capitalize, though, again, they can get their team behind the ball. They can organize defensively.
Ott with the blast. It'll bend. Williamson will head it out.
There you go. The experience of Neela finding the ball. That's the, again, for the past 2 seasons, center back that moved into the center defensive midfield role, still cleaning up the back line.
Now with some fresh legs out there, Knief. Try to push it ahead. Here come the Mustangs. And now a late whistle as there was contact for the ball and on the player as the foul will go against Glasgow.
Yep. But again, the team's behind the ball. The progression of Waverly on the counterattack is a lot harder now because spaces are closed down.
Are there any lights left on in Waverly or Shell Rock? I mean, what a crowd. Also, a lot of Mustang fans here too. Well, we're packed. We've got standing room only here on the near sideline. Here's Glasgow looking to go to work. The blast, the high kick, and it goes over the net.
That's what you want out of your center forward, is to take people on. Kind of a small thing there, if they show the replay, is actually when she took the preparation touch onto her strong foot on the right, she actually lifted the ball up a little bit, which on a grass surface, that little know-how can actually get you out of a lot of jams where defenders will try to block low and lifting up over their legs. It doesn't matter if they guess right, you'll still kind of push it by.
That ball going to be deflected out, and it will go to Dallas Center-Grimes. So 7 minutes left to go in the first half. Scoreless game here in the 2A title match. Waverly-Shell Rock wearing the yellow uniforms. Dallas Center-Grimes in the white with red numbers. Go-Hawks trying to win their school's second ever state championship.
Yep, these are two very evenly matched teams. You see the kind of transitions throughout the game, going from very direct to now finding each other's feet, as there is some space in the midfield to exploit as the legs start to get tired.
Glasgow trying to hold that one in. Contact in midfield, and it will be a yellow card going to be issued against Dallas Center-Grimes.
The crowd very happy with that, or very upset with that. Referee making a decision to hold the line there and say that that's one step too far. Again, attempting to stop counterattack play. Looked like the defender just cut off the player as they're going for the ball, so nothing malicious there, but sometime outcome is more important than intent.
Ella Starman will have to check out. She comes off the bench, does the freshman, and will be replaced out on the field.
And DCG's done a great job of being very solid defensively, handling these set pieces. And here we have a dangerous player there that can kind of create some offense from a wide area.
6 minutes to play in the first half. And we see subs coming in for each team. These two coaches know each other really well, too. Dan James, Scott Scher text one another quite a bit during the season, during the off season.
It's a small soccer world. It really is. So, yeah, and I would say between the two of them as well, you know, they're friendly competitors. Both of them absolutely want to win. They're very competitive as people, but they understand what they want to have happen is for all their players to feel good about how they play, to compete at a high level, and to leave better people.
Big shot downfield. It'll be a foot race to the ball. The keeper will stay in at net as that one will be popped out. Wise decision by the defender. for Waverly-Shell Rock and Maya Barons.
That's right. Dallas Center-Grimes not making any clearance. Comfortable one, still pressuring from behind, sending numbers forward, and they're rewarded here. They have a thrown in the offensive half. We're within 5 minutes as well. Goals before half, a lot of times happen.
Heigerken's shot, or throw, excuse me, goes to the outside, and we'll have to do it again here. What a half.
Yeah, the crowd is egging everyone on as well. Both sets of fans traveled well. Very positive energy behind the girls.
Waverly-Shell Rock spending the week here in Ames. Dallas Center-Grimes nearby, able to sleep in their own beds, but can take it positively or negatively one way or the other. Here's Knief.
Good job shielding the ball.
Can they go to the outside? The blast, just wide right. Getting a look at a potential one-timer was Olivia Ewers.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for her. The ball had snaked its way, and a nice cutback pass into space for her to have a shot. Neela Williamson again, doing a great job of cleaning up everything in the midfield.
Now they're trying to stretch it out here. Angel couldn't quite catch up with the ball. Mustangs will try to work with it. 3:25 to go, first half. Boy, a lot of energy out on the field, and this will be foul called, and will we see a card? Yes.
We'll see a card.
Waverly-Shell Rock seeing a yellow card on Mia England, the junior. So a free kick here right at midfield. Let's take a look at it. Boom. Here comes the card.
Yep, that seemed kind of shoulder to shoulder, but I think she caught her in the chest there, so just positionally, that's the little tiny margins where you want to play physically, you want to do well to win the ball back, especially when you don't have the ball for as long as soccer players do.
Ball sent deep as Smith comes into the game for England for Waverly-Shell Rock.
Waverly again doing a great job of defending those set piece opportunities.
Ott just trying to find some space. Clean tackle by the Mustangs.
Referee's got a handful today.
Yes. These two teams know each other very well. 10 times they've played against each other since 2019. And keep in mind that during 2020, we did not have a season of high school soccer.
DCG electing to build out of the back. Set piece just a little bit too far to kind of make into the box.
Williamson.
Good job finding the winger out wide to start one-on-ones.
Hoffbauer will send it in. It's bobbled, but then smothered by Reichertz.
On a day like today, that's a great ball. Skipping across the back line, making the goalkeeper, have to settle that ball well and not let up any rebounds.
Been a while since the Mustangs got a direct shot on goal. And Waverly-Shell Rock trying to return the favor here.
Again, DCG just pressing, keeping the tempo high. It's a tactic that could also pay off for the second half because they haven't allowed Waverly necessarily a ton of time to rest.
Pass back, looking to work with it, Gill. Again, at midfield, Hoffbauer to Williamson. Again, trying to stretch out this Waverly-Shell Rock defense, but it holds.
Yeah, DCG was kind of in the midst of rotating some players there in possession, and we'll see if Waverly takes advantage here.
Able to hit it to the side to Angel. Ball caught up in open space.
Yeah, off the ball there. Collision that I think the referee had a good eye on and did a good job of not calling.
Now trying to get it out into space. Here's Angel. Mustangs will win that battle with Folkerts.
With 40 seconds left to play, we'll see if they can get an opportunity here.
Hoffbauer out ahead. Knief setting it up, will center it. Heigirken can't handle the pass. Williamson.
Great touch.
Off to Mickelson. Now Neela Williamson. Mickelson, as they're maybe going to try to clock the ball here in the closing seconds. The first half, what a half it has been. Each team has over 3 shots on goal. And we're scoreless as that ball is left open in the closing seconds.
Yeah.
As Reichertz was able to come up and smother the ball, and we have some players slow to get up.
Yeah, collision in and around the box area. Hopefully no injuries here as that final push to score. Oh, she's up on her feet.
What a first half. Paisley Heigirken, the freshman, is up and okay. Again, each team with their opportunity in that opening half. But guess what? We are still scoreless in the 2A title match. Dallas Center-Grimes, Waverly-Shell Rock here on Iowa PBS.
Hey friends, join us at the Iowa PBS Maytag Auditorium on Saturday, June 28th for special advanced screenings of the new PBS Kids show, Weather Hunters. We'll provide snacks and an activity along with 2 screening options. One of the screenings will be sensory friendly. Visit iowapbs.org/events to get your free tickets.
There are secrets buried in time. Until now. Walk in the footsteps of long-lost giants as their hidden world comes to life.
Coming to Iowa PBS, June 16th.
We're at the half here in Ames, Iowa, as you look at campus of Iowa State University. What a job they've done hosting the state tournament all week long, and it comes down to this final championship match. It's in Class 2A, and what a match we've seen. Still scoreless between Waverly-Shell Rock and Dallas Center-Grimes. Well, sports are just one facet of a young people's lives. Across the country, legislative page programs offer high school students a front row seat to see our government in action. The tradition helps create future leaders, engaged citizens, and public servants. The Iowa PBS program Iowa Life spent some time with pages in the Iowa House of Representatives to find out more about their roles.
It's definitely different days every single day. Nothing's the same ever.
So I come in at about 7:50 a.m.
We have committee meetings and subcommittee meetings, and then we're on the floor.
Representatives will ask you to do things for them.
Get whatever they need, like bills or coffee or whatever.
It's not even really that gradual. Like 1 week will be slow, and then the week after that, just really hammered down and put on the gas.
The House will be in order. The prayer today will be offered by Representative Gustava Hoke. Following the prayer, the pledge will be led by Samantha Olson, our page from Ankeny.
So for this week 1, Olivia, I have you on the bill room, okay? Switchboard, Irina, I have you on the switchboard this week, okay?
Iowa House switchboard, how can I direct your call?
And then mail room and printers. Peyton, I have you on that this week, okay? So you're all set? Okay, okay, good.
The Iowa legislature hires pages each session to assist in the House and Senate chambers. They're high school students from all over the state, selected from a competitive pool of applicants. It's a paying job, and they gain valuable experience in government.
To 20 over the speed limit.
You could walk just right up there. We give them a couple of weeks to get their feet on the ground. They spend most of their day on the floor passing notes out, passing mail to different desks.
Notes come in, they're handed to a doorkeeper. The doorkeeper brings them over to a desk and presses this button, which alerts us on our board that sits right behind me. And the board will tell us where it's coming from.
And so then we take it to the representative. If they're not here, we go back and say, hey, do you want to leave a message for them because they're not here currently? Or if they are here, we send them out and they go out and talk to them.
Periodically, they'll give us tasks like I've had to put stamps on envelopes. Pretty much just anything the representatives ask us to do for them that we are there to do. We make their load a bit lighter.
The bill here tries to clean up any confusion that we might have had.
We run the subcommittees and committees.
So we get here about 10, 15 minutes before the meeting starts and log into the computer and get the live stream up and running, and then we just sit.
Anybody can join, the public can join. They don't get to talk on there, they can talk in person. I truthfully didn't know anything that happened, like the subcommittees to committees and then to the floor, and then it goes to the Senate, or the Senate sends it over here, and then it goes to the governor. So all like the processes is really interesting.
We have a page uniform that we wear every day. They supply us with our blazers, pants, and the only thing that we get freedom on is our shirts, but they have to be white.
I think the biggest two rules that stood out to me was you can't walk down the middle aisle.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the House.
We can't cross the line of vision between the speaker and a representative who's talking to them in session or in debate, things like that.
We also have to be respectful, understand that they are a lot higher position than us, and that is our job, is to do the things that they ask us to do.
We tell the pages that just like the rest of the staff, the professional staff that are here year-round that work for that same office, we're kind of statues on the floor. We don't show emotion. We don't show eye rolls if somebody says something that we don't agree with, and we definitely do not clap or cheer on the floor. It's a decorum. It's a set of rules that help this place function in the heat of emotion.
I am a state representative from House District 6, which is basically Spencer to Storm Lake. When I became a page, it allowed me an opportunity to move to Des Moines, be in an apartment with a couple other pages, friends. You know, I came in this scared, meek, 17-year-old page, and I found a network of people that fit me really well. I gained a lot of confidence. I got to interact with legislators and people in a world that I really wanted to be a part of. And so I really think it helped me kind of find my way and be more confident in where I was headed.
My favorite part is probably getting to know the legislators, all the representatives, and to hear where they've come from and how they got here.
I've met a couple of my best friends here, so that's been awesome.
So for me, this is my first real job experience, and I think it is a really, really good place to start. It has taught me how to be professional.
You're welcome.
I think young people have an amazing role to play at the Capitol because they provide that energy, but also a good reminder of why we're here and that they matter too, and that we need to remember why we're talking about Regent funding and why we're talking about our colleges and why we're talking about being career ready and why we're talking about making sure that we have our young people have the skill sets that are needed in our environment and our economy.
To see all the legislators work together, even if they oppose each other and what they believe is different, they still are civil and they work together really well. And something I'm going to remember of how to do that and how I can achieve to be like them.
I love this building a lot. It's pretty much my favorite building ever. So I love being here and being able to be here every day.
It's an amazing opportunity.
Well, join Iowa Life host Charity Nebbe for more compelling stories that shine a spotlight on the exceptional lives of the people who call Iowa home. Tuesday night is at 6:30 on Iowa PBS. and anytime online at iowapbs.org. Well, look who's playing peekaboo. The sun is starting to shine here in Ames as we've got ourselves a scoreless game between Dallas Center-Grimes and Waverly-Shell Rock. As it's been an interesting first half, very competitive as we expected for this 2A title match. As we are joined by Xavier head coach Jake Johnson. And coach, that first half about what we expected, right?
Yeah, two teams feeling each other out, but opportunities starting to open up, taking advantage of the field surface, pressing aggressively, rotating off the bench. No one leaving anything in the tank.
Well, the 2A championship, as we look at the first half highlights here, has been very, very explosive at midfield. Very physical, too. Look at that. Ow!
That's right.
There's some bumps and bruises going on out there. Many fouls have been called, and the netminders have been right on point.
Referee doing a good job of managing chaos at the moment, but as you can see, it's a physical game. Both teams not wanting to back down from challenges, both teams wanting to control the pace of play, wanting to control possession, and pressing the back line, just, doing the grunt work to capitalize on any mistake made on either back line.
Second half about ready to get underway. I want to remind you to relive the excitement. Share these moments with your family, friends, and neighbors. You can visit iowapbs.org for archives of championship games. You can do that any time. A large contingent of fans here for the 2A championship. And it has been exciting, thrilling, everything you could think of and more in the second half. How do things, as a coach, what do you tell your team after that type of first half?
Now the game happens. First half is gone. We got 40 minutes to try to make something happen. Reminders there of sticking to the game plans kind of allotted. Those kind of individual conversations with players to manage emotions and getting back behind your leaders on the team, because it's going to be players on the field that win games, not necessarily coaches.
Ken, one half of soccer left. Who will strike and how many times as each team, they switch sides? A good jostle for the ball. That physical nature is going to continue on, as we can see in the second half.
Absolutely, that wasn't going anywhere. That's always going to be here. If anything, it might actually pick up here in the second half as fatigue sets in, decision-making, the timing of challenges. The field surface is still wet. The sun is coming out, so as it starts to dry up a little bit, we might see the ball actually react differently off the surface, which could mean a little bit different strategies.
You played Dallas Center-Grimes in the semis. Are they doing anything differently here today, especially in that first half?
No, and I think, if a three-time defending champion team, once they have kind of a system set up and in place and know that leaning on it can yield results, I think you have a lot more buy-in with the team. So I don't expect anything necessarily different from them. Waverly as well. A similar squad with success throughout the year, so I think we're going to just see the war of attrition in the second half.
Mustangs looking to charge in, but denied as Waverly-Shell Rock's defense holds strong. Maya Behrens, Gracie Aubin, with the play. Mustangs want to put that pressure back on.
You're not going to get there, don't hack at her.
And I think the crowd reacted there as if the player had gotten foul. I think she actually just lost her footing there, getting out of bounds, winning the throw.
Big battle for the ball. Look at Glasgow. Go. Glasgow on point. The shot just over the top of the net.
That's a player you do not want shooting open on top of the 18-yard box. She did great to, create that little opportunity for herself as well, getting it back on her dominant foot. Keeper had it covered, I think. But again, one of those things where the momentum starts to swing in one direction here to start our second half.
Yeah, Landry Glasgow, exceptional on the soccer field and also on social media with TikTok. And she almost created her own moment there. In fact, She gets paid a lot of cash now. She's 18. She can make money off of social media. So she is an influencer for Ultra hair products, White Fox, Game Day. And she was telling her coach, Dan James, don't worry, I got lunch this time. I'm going to pay for it. How about that?
I have a daughter, and I do her hair in the morning, so I know how important that can be. But yeah, and just with the game changing now where NIL money for players is available, I think myself playing Division III in college look back and say, all right, the game's in a better place now than when I worked for free there.
Here's Ott battling Knief for the ball. Remember, each team, each player has a yellow card. Have to keep on that.
DCG, again, relentless in their pressing, not giving any opportunities for this midfield space to open up.
Bieneman with the throw. Ott looking for an opportunity here. Now we'll send it deep. That's going to miss the net, so it'll be a goal kick here coming up for Dallas Center-Grimes. Frustrating day today for Annika Ott. She's been bottled up so far by the Mustangs.
It's tough playing in the center position, kind of boxed in by two center defensive midfielders for DCG. But she's the type of player that doesn't need a lot of opportunities to produce offensively. So one that might be quiet for now, but definitely would not give time and space on the ball.
Williamson at midfield.
And the surface is dried up a little bit. You can see the rotation of the ball is no longer skipping, which means balls are going to run less out of bounds. It's going to be easier to play into spaces. Game's going to change just a little bit compared with the first half.
That will be ruled out. Goal kick here for Waverly-Shell Rock. Again, these two teams played earlier this season. Waverly-Shell Rock won at Dallas Center-Grimes 2-0. That was back on May the 3rd. And asking Dan James, what do you remember about that game? Because we didn't play well. And he said it really turned our season around. From then on, the Mustangs have been on a heater.
Yeah, sometimes you need that wake-up call. You know, in the game, just looking at the two sides and how they matched up, you know, you had Waverly with 5 shots on goal, DCG with 8, but still Waverly coming up with the 2-0 win. A major contributor in that game is actually not playing today due to injury, which was Lindy Hubbard. 2 assists in that game. So, you know, a slightly different squad that DCG is coming up against, and Waverly does have depth. So you have a good rematch of an early season game where I think both teams are going to have opportunities in the second half.
Bevy of activity, right? Crisscrossing in front of the net. Reichert's directing traffic wisely. It'll be a throw in here for the Mustangs, as Glasgow will do the chores.
As the sun comes out as well, just to paint a picture here, it's Iowa, so who knows if the heat and humidity all of a sudden come back in and we get all the seasons in one. Good job finding space wide.
In front of the net, Barron's able to head that back out.
Yep.
Again, finally cleared by Waverly-Shell Rock. The Mustangs still on the offensive possession.
Yep, DCG just got to keep encouraging those players out wide in those one-on-one positions to, you know, keep attacking. You know, as the game goes on and legs are heavy as well, that desire to score, getting themselves into the box to, you know, tap those balls away is going to be pretty crucial.
We have had fantastic play all day. The 1A title game going to Davenport Assumption. 2A or 3A championship, Waukee Northwest, the school's first. Sounds impressive, but they've only been in existence for 4 years. And now here, Waverly-Shell Rock trying to get their school's second title. And Dallas Center-Grimes trying to win their 4th straight.
Yeah, 25% is not a bad stat, right? I would take that. And here we see the 5 offense, 5 defense.
Yeah.
Set up kind of in both directions, which you know, leads for a pretty attacking-minded you know, strategy for both sides.
By the way, the state championships here on Iowa PBS. Of course, in just a month, as you see a foul called against the Mustangs, Anna Mickelson. Some smiles.
That one's an interesting one because it looked like there was a tug of the jersey, but there's also hair. Nope, just the horse collar. Willing to give up the foul there to prevent from escaping. No card though. Oh? This one might be for talking. We'll find out here in a second.
Referee Sean Geiza will issue a yellow card. That's the second of the day, called against Dallas Center-Grimes. So Mickelson, the sophomore, is going to have to check out for the moment.
So again, kind of a repeated danger from the first half. You don't want to be giving up too many of these set pieces as close. This one's still 30, 40 yards out, but Waverly, again, a team that's undefeated for a reason.
Addy Odd deep to the net. This is going to be played well by Torski.
That's right, sure hands, and then looking to counter right away, pressing 2. And they're rewarded. They win it back in the midfield. Lots of fans now getting on the referee to try to get any edge that they can for their side.
Yeah, Leah Folkerts did her best acting and not rewarded by saying that was a charge into me. Waverly-Shell Rock here on the throw.
Now, the more Waverly can press into their half, it forces DCG's outside mids to actually have to drop in and join the back line. You can see that matchup in the box right here with Waverly's left winger now forcing their right winger very deep, and that just leaves, for counterattacking purposes, only 2 players to play through, which can be a good way to limit opportunities, is just to keep this ball in this half and kind of shell them in a bit.
Number of fans here today. What's also been impressive with Ames hosting is the number of fans that have stuck around all day from the opening game, including a lightning delay in that 3A championship.
That's right, and I think it speaks highly of just women's sports in Iowa being supported altogether, but also the quality of matches that we've seen at each of the classes so far. It's a well-attended event. It's been very well run as well. The Iowa Girls Athletic Union doing a fantastic job of organizing this event.
Gherkin out ahead. Glasgow couldn't handle the pass. It'll stay in the offensive zone for the Mustangs. Now a blast deep off the head and off of a hop. Stella Reicherts finds the ball.
We can see the midfield space starting to open up now, and the battle of the wills, who's going to control the middle of the field.
Ott scoots it ahead to the outside, trying to track it down. Angel just couldn't catch up with it. But again, the crowds here have just been phenomenal all week as the preliminary games, the quarterfinals and semifinals were held at the Lead Recreation Fields. Of course, this is a relatively new stadium built less than a decade ago here at Iowa State University, and the turf new since 23. Now trying to charge it ahead. Hoffbauer, the shot blocked away by Reicherts.
Great job by Hoffbauer getting a cutting-in shot on the right. Keeper did a great job of sure-handedly pushing that out of the box. The DCG is a team that will press and try to score off rebounds, so getting that out of her 6-yard box wide, fantastic job. Yeah, just sure-handed, made sure to clear the danger out as you see that pressing forward, getting in.
Gherkin with the throw. In traffic and cleared that time by Aubin.
It's a bit of shift in momentum here. DCG on the attack, creating a little bit more opportunities. Waverly, who's been solid defensively all game, just giving up a little bit of a sniff there, and we'll see how that plays over the next 5 minutes.
Again, the Mustangs have been able to stretch out the field a little bit. Passes have been crisp, except there.
Waverly doing a good job of not letting them transition out of the back, rewarded there by winning the ball.
12 minutes into the second half, a scoreless match here. Where might this one be headed?
Did you see me sprinting over to the corner? Yeah.
In space. Glasgow.
As soon as it went to the goal, I was like, oh, shit.
Scoots it ahead. High Gherkin couldn't hit the pass as it was too forward.
Starting to see a little bit more tired legs, and then there are some that you just can't tell are tired at all. The two center midfielders for DCG working sideline to sideline, clearing everything out, one of them being there, doing a great job of just hunting down any of these opportunities and helping their offense spark some opportunities as well.
Kneve trying to get it ahead of Glasgow. Might have had an opportunity there.
I think referee saying a handball there.
Yep.
Inadvertent, but an advantage from it. Not too happy with it.
High Gherkin, the freshman, trying to plead her case. Now,
pleading the case with 10 yards to slow the play.
It's not helping the situation.
Oh, the game within the game, though.
Yes.
Team can set up defensively now, and again, something the referee just needs to watch for and be aware of.
This one.
Great hustle to keep that in bounds, putting her body on the line.
All-out effort by both of these squads.
No stone left unturned.
2023 was the last time these two played in a championship match. It was won by Dallas Center-Grimes 2-0. In 22, they lost also 2-0. In 21, they won 5-1. Did Waverly-Shell Rock over the Mustangs for their school's only title.
Yeah, this one's anyone's left to grab. And both definitely want it.
The blast at the top, going to go wide left. As trying to time that was Emma Smith. And the Go-Hawks coming into this one 18-0 and one tie on the season. And the Mustangs will go back to their bench as Addie Lane, the sophomore, will check in. Of course, her father is the head coach of the boys team. And what's interesting about Addie, the sophomore, had labrum surgery back last September. And has really played her way back. Here's Ott off into the corner. Annika gonna leave it back to Angel. Ott just could not get that pass hauled in as she had the open end line to the net.
Yep, referee called an
offside too.
Yep, which that was actually very close. You know, player who gets herself out wide, turns up, and doesn't look to just dump a ball into the box, but looks to combine and create from those wide areas, getting herself involved in the box as well. Again, one of those things where she doesn't need a lot of opportunities to produce offensively. It's just, a player who can be lethal when given a chance.
Waverly-Shell Rock will go back on the throw. We've talked about the surface throughout the day here, the atmosphere and Ames for the state soccer championships. The Ott sisters are used to coming to Ames to watch their sister Siri play here for Iowa State. And what a thrill that must be to get an opportunity to actually go out there and play.
That's right, home from home, yeah.
Waverly-Shell Rock to their bench. Joanne Butler, the sophomore, in for the first time in the late half. Coach Scott Scher looking to try to find some fresh legs. Both teams exerting a lot of energy out there. Williamson battling for the ball.
Again, doing the hard work and then getting herself right back up to look to attack. Rewarded for pressing there. Just again, as an offensive player, you do not oftentimes see the work rate from those players. Same thing with DCG. Landry actually getting herself back defensively to win the ball back in the midfield as well. And I think that speaks to that hunger and desire.
Off the high bounce. Glasgow gonna find it, has an opening, uses her left foot. Now shoots it towards net, but it's over the top of the bar.
It did a good job not to settle for that initial shot and to try to find some space wide. Sometimes, especially with tired legs, you start shooting from far away and not actually getting yourself into a high percentage opportunity. So good job to put a little shot fake out there, try to touch it wide to the assist zone.
Dangerous pass as Glasgow able to cut it off. Now finds Heigerken. Her shot hauled in by Reichertz, who's been getting a workout here in the second half.
She has. She's had sure hands. I don't think there's a moment where people could be thinking, oh, maybe she's uncomfortable, and try to test her out a little bit more. She's held things down very well. Ball runner's getting quite a workout here.
And it continues as Dallas Center-Grimes continues to inch the ball up the field. Heigerken with the throw.
Oh, it's
headed off to the side. An opportunity for Hoffbauer, just could not catch up to it in time. Lets the offense set a little bit. Fending it away, now to Heigerken.
That was a really great opportunity, well flicked on.
Now Gill. Can be blocked out, and a corner kick coming up for the Mustangs.
There's where the momentum is shifting. The pressure's starting to mount a little bit. We're just around 20 minutes left in the game, and this could be a big moment.
Can they capitalize? Dallas Center-Grimes with their third corner of the day. Here's Anna Mickelson. Centers it, the header, knocked back down. What a collision in front of net. What effort.
Both teams flying around the ball. Waverly again doing a great job of seeing that pressure and in managing, getting themselves out of potential shift in momentum.
And it will stay with Dallas Center-Grimes. Bieneman trying to say no, our way. The official said nope. Mustang ball.
They have some targets in the box. They can throw it in far enough to create some issues.
Off the header, Heigerken. Tried to put it back. This will roll out again. The Mustangs again, another opportunity here. Halfway through the second half, still scoreless here, but the pressure has been mounting. The Dallas Center-Grimes Mustangs have been putting it on, if you will. Waverly-Shell Rock. A high shot, Gill towards the net, missed the one-timer, but would have been ruled offsides. Irregardless. Again, the Mustangs with an opportunity deep.
Yeah, great opportunity. Actually, even though she's offsides there, I really like that she tried to put that back across the box. She might not have had the greatest shooting angle, but to, look to assist there is that kind of sense of presence in the box that usually produces pretty well.
Be a goal kick here coming up from Waverly-Shell Rock. The table stakes, Dallas Center-Grimes trying to four-peat. Waverly-Shell Rock going for their second title in state championship matches. School history, they are 1-5. But what a match it's been. Scoreless, the defensive battle. The keepers have been exceptional.
And we see the first kind of signs of players stretching on the field, possibly cramping. Again, it's been a high-tempo game, so it relies on a lot of athleticism and endurance from both sides.
And a whistle here, a foul going to be called against Waverly-Shell Rock. Ott with a little too much effort there.
Yeah, but able to get behind the ball and defend here.
This one going to be headed up and hauled in by Reichertz. My ball, she says.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, DCG forward jumping at the punt.
It's chippy too.
Yeah. Again, all scenarios this referee is have to deal with. So I'm sure not a fun one.
Knief in traffic. Waverly-Shell Rock just trying to muster something here. It's been on the offensive end for Dallas Center-Grimes. Knief in traffic with the right foot. Now we'll spin back. Leaves it to the center. The big punch, just wide right by Mickelson.
A little bit of a far shot attempt, but you know, that's a player who's been able to produce some goals and assists this year from that position as well, so not unfounded.
It'll go to Dallas Center-Grimes here with the throw. Going to be knocked down and put back into play by Mickelson.
That's a good job.
And a contact there as Glasgow was going to haul it in, but was pushed to the ground by Gade.
It's a good job of the forward there, checking her shoulder, knowing where the defender was, allowing the contact and drawing the foul. Those are some of those little details where all of a sudden you're looking at an opportunity from about 30 yards away in a game where set pieces could make the difference.
So Williamson, along with Anna Mickelson. Anna will kick it to net. It's a high kick. And Waverly-Shell Rock can take a breath here.
Not for long, but yep, can get a rotation in, relieve some of the pressure. They've been dealing with some longer throw-ins into the box, some free kicks in their half and some corners, and have handled the pressure well. It's still at 0-0.
You're watching the Class 2A State Championship of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union here on Iowa PBS with Xavier head coach Jake Johnson. I'm BJ Shaban. It's been a great day of Saturday soccer. And the 2A title match is going to come down the wire. Still scoreless between Dallas Center-Grimes wearing the white uniforms, red numbers, and Waverly-Shell Rock in the yellow uniforms as Bieneman will punch that one downfield. And no one can catch up to it as the sun is starting to glaze over the Cyclone Sports Complex here.
That's right. You know, sometimes on the coin toss, you think of, you know, first half versus second half. What kind of conditions do you want to play with in either of them? And some added thing for this half now is the sun is setting on, you know, one of the sides here, which might make it a little bit difficult to play with and see. That sun, as you can see, the goalkeeper for Waverly-Shell Rock actually covering her eyes, shielding the sun. It could be something to kind of be mindful of if it plays a role here in anything.
Yeah, the field running east-west. Here's Annika Ott trying to get some space. Ott in traffic will stay after it, and it will be lofted away from the zone as Leah Folkerts will punch it ahead for the Mustangs.
Well defended there from Dallas Center-Grimes, because that's a dangerous player who will put everything to...
Here's it free into the net and wisely caught up to, and now a whistle, late whistle, as Glasgow had collided with Bieneman.
Now, that's an interesting foul to call, because you've now stopped the transition from happening quickly. So in a sense, without a yellow card, that's kind of rewarding that play, because now, you know, she's 30 yards back behind the ball.
That's what the goalie is looking at, the towers, but the sun ahead. Those towers have hosted and housed many students over the years, and they're just blocking out the sun enough, but maybe not enough for Stella Reichertz.
Here's a dangerous one-on-one opportunity again.
Ott down the field, again quickly smothered up, but it will be a throw here for Waverly-Shell Rock.
A great job from DCG to cover those wide spaces. They're helping each other out. They're not defending one-on-ones, they're defending as a unit and as a team, not providing them opportunities to get in behind.
So the Mustangs Sydney Bieneman. Will throw it. Will be headed out. For the moment, as Waverly-Shell Rock, Dallas Center-Grimes battling it out. Big collision on the ball.
I think that's a great no call.
Ruled clean. Back up after it, though, is Englund.
Yeah, good job by the referee. You know, the crowd is very loud and asking for things in both directions, players as well, but I think referee doing a good job. It's a great no call.
Hoffbauer here to the near side. Again, some tired legs starting to show up out there. Looking for that opportunity. Ott at midfield. Going to be harassed. And a whistle.
Again, this is in transition counter. That was not a you know, massive collision there. I think some tired legs there saying, I feel a little pressure from behind. I'll just say thank you and let's get ourselves up the field.
Kenna Knief called for the foul. Bieneman will put her foot into it. That goes high, and now the netminder for the Mustangs, Emerson Torski, will haul it in.
Yep, you can see the players shielding from the sun a little bit to try to get a better eye on it. Oh, yeah. Play on from the referee there not to call it. DCG staying on their defeat to attack.
Gill with an opportunity. Tried to go with the blast, but whiffed. Over here to the near side. That shot hauled in by Reichertz.
That's a good opportunity for DCG there. Good job in the midfield, staying on your feet. You know, pushing the tempo and not necessarily just wanting to take the foul, recognizing that Waverly can drop behind the ball.
And a whistle here going to be called against Annika Ott.
Yeah, I think it's because she wrapped around.
And will we see another yellow card? And that would be a big one for Waverly-Shell Rock, but it will stay in the pocket of Sean Geiser. But there will be a yellow card does come out.
Yep, one of those.
That's a big out here.
Yeah.
With 11 minutes to play.
Just the arm a little bit high up. Good job, good spot from the referee. You know, forearm and elbow pretty close to the head and neck area. That's a by the book call, and I don't necessarily think it's intentional as she's kind of wrapping around to feel actually where her opponent is, but one that has to be called no matter what.
Williamson controls it at the midfield to Gill. Glasgow. Right in the center. Leans it forward, but it stays on the turf, makes it an easy play here for Reichertz.
Yeah, if you're Waverly, it's difficult, but you got to try to keep her from being able to turn and face you up all the way. Doing a great job as a target forward there to actually receive the ball and turn just like that. Good example of how to defend there is just to not let her turn into space, closing things down a little bit faster.
Foul called here on Dallas Center-Grimes. I think Glasgow was upset. She thought there should have been a foul, so then in turn had some extra play. And we're going to see a sub come into the game shortly. I believe it's Ott who's standing at the ready to come back in.
Waverly showing no signs of slowing down here with 10 minutes left. Still chasing balls out of bounds, still putting that energy and effort into everything.
So Annika Ott has served her time. Will check out of the game, or check back into the game. And going out for Waverly-Shell Rock is Kennedy Wykers. So a goal kick coming up. And the sun into the eyes with that ball going down to the east part of the field, and there's a big time collision.
If there's a replay of this one, the referee's closer, but anytime you see 2 feet leave the ground, it's pretty dangerous.
Alexa Gill took the punishment for Dallas Center-Grimes. Now a free kick from midfield. Mustangs try to push it forward. Now the launch. It's a foot race to the ball along the end line, and there's no touch on it, so it will be a goal kick here coming up for Waverly-Shell Rock.
Yep, good job from Waverly there, just making sure that they're tracking back, recognizing the danger, covering each other, seeing that ball out of bounds.
Bieneman. That's Gill that's able to intercept it. Bieneman misplayed it off of her foot. Charging in was Heigurken. And the Mustangs will have the throw here from the far side. This is Hoffbauer.
DCG does not need a ton of incentive to go and press those balls played in the box in dangerous areas. So just one of those things to be mindful of is to play simple in the back, which she did a great job of. Dealt with it well.
Williamson wanted to go. Unfortunately, her teammate wasn't at the ready. Again, just some tired legs out there is Olivia Ewers.
That's right. As this game, you know, could potentially stay 0-0 and we get into overtime, it's going to be a test of athleticism, a test of endurance, and a test of will.
Think about it. A few years ago, the 3A championship went to overtime. And that was in 2023. That was between Johnston and West Des Moines Valley. Johnston won it on penalty kicks.
Yeah, and throughout this season, this is the first year where they, in the regular season, do not play overtimes. So that's going to be a new facet that the players aren't necessarily as used to. And as well, there's, you know, at the end of those overtimes, there's no penalty kicks as well. So neither side really getting a chance to scout each other out.
Corner kick here coming up for Dallas Center-Grimes.
Crowds on their feet making lots of noise. They can sense something's coming. Here with 6 minutes left to play.
Reichert's trying to be calm and cool. Be the sheriff out there guarding the net. Here's the kick from the corner. It's up to the top. And it will be last touched by Dallas Center-Grimes, so a goal kick here for Waverly-Shell Rock.
Again, great job from Waverly, organizing the box, everyone knowing their roles, making sure that nothing dangerous came of that.
You can see the sun just beating down as Bieneman looks down the field.
That's right, we are into June as well, so with some water and some sunshine, you know, that temperature can start to increase quite dramatically, especially with tired bodies, tired legs, game going to overtime, potentially.
Heidgerken with the throw from the near sideline. And we'll do it again. Paisley Heidgerken came off the bench here in the championship match and has played a lot of minutes here. Again with the throw. It'll be headed up. Waverly-Shell Rock trying to clear it. Anglin will go to the opposite side of the field.
Good job finding the opposite winger to transition through.
Angel will punch it ahead, trying to go to Ott. Caught up in traffic, good defense by the Mustangs. Ott will get it back though.
Waverly getting rewarded for pressing. Very, very close to a dangerous situation as she was streaking for the wing there to try to go one-on-one.
Scoreless game, nearing or under 5 minutes to play.
Good.
In regulation. Again, just wisely kicking it away was Ava Mickelson.
Yeah.
It'll be a throw here for Waverly-Shell Rock.
Did a good job of not necessarily trusting the other back there and going to cover because, you know, just that little instance she could have turned her defender and, you know, she turned that into a non-issue. Still winning a throw-in deep in the half here from Waverly, though.
Bieneman with the high throw. Gets into traffic. This is Ott. It's deep. Ott has it taken away by the Mustangs, who again clear it out of the zone.
That's right. DCG doing a great job. That's another potential foul in transition there. And the referee.
Maya Behrens will be called for the foul.
Oh, yeah, I know you were trying. But
All right, excuse me. It will be Glasgow called for the foul as Behrens
figure that out before college. Hey.
had the ball.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And again, the team can get behind the ball now and as a group.
How about Heidgerking setting the ball for the official? And some tired legs out there, people tying their shoes. As we're ready for play to resume here for Waverly-Shell Rock. Addie Ott sends the ball deep.
All three DCG players collapsing around that ball. Again, the work rate defensively from both sides has been phenomenal.
Who's got the legs to finish down the stretch? Hoffbauer along that far sideline. Spins it back in. Englund.
Again, great cover defensively to see that opportunity and sniff it out.
There's Heidgerken. At the top, we'll center it towards the net. But it goes wide right off of her foot to her chagrin. Glasgow and Heidgerken causing havoc here on the Sunsplash second half.
That's right. You know, shooting from a far distance there, 2v4, but with the sun, you know, in mind and it being late in the game, it's a good decision. I mean, they're still producing offensively as well with just 2 pressing 4.
How many more chances will each team get as regulation is winding down? Overtime would loom. Start with a 10-minute overtime, then a second 10-minute overtime. Then it comes down to PKs if you're playing that late.
I know neither one of these teams wants to go into overtime or penalties, and this isn't going to slow down anytime soon.
Hoffbauer tries to lead it ahead to Glasgow. Foot race to the ball, but back there defensively was Lauren Gade for Waverly-Shell Rock. Here come the Go-Hawks. Going to try to force the issue with Wykers.
The amount of hustle on the field from both sides has been impressive.
Under 90 to play in regulation. Bieneman stays in play with Ott.
Yep, still on a yellow card, but still trusting herself not to pull a second one, pressing, winning the ball back, doing that dirty work. And Waverly rewarded here with a throw-in in the offensive half. Another chance here with 1 minute left.
Coming down the stretch, you think about Waverly-Shell Rock. Without the services of Lindy Hubbard, she injured herself earlier on in the state tournament. And now a collision, and guess what? A free kick's going to be coming up for Waverly-Shell Rock right in point at the top of the box.
Not much more you can ask for Waverly, for an opportunity not only to see this out, to prevent any opportunity coming the other way.
Ewers picks up the foul, and this will be Ott right at point.
Yep, dangerous place.
So with the sun in her face, now the netminder, Emerson Torski, is looking to set up traffic. They'll split. Ott, the lob going to be blocked out with the head of Glasgow.
Interesting. I don't think any player touched that ball, so that encroachment there, you know, 3 or 4 yards to block that ball. Might have gotten away with one there.
And that will be the closing seconds of regulation. We started the game scoreless. We played 40 minutes of soccer, still scoreless. We are headed to overtime in the 2A title match here between Waverly-Shell Rock and Dallas Center-Grimes. What effort by both out on the field.
Look at the support from both teams, just egging each other on. I mean, that's how you get the most out of your teammates there, is having the backing of not only your community behind you traveling well, but your own teammates egging you on further.
Well, when we come back, overtime number 1. It'll be sudden victory when we return as you're watching the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Soccer Championships here on Iowa PBS.
On the next Road Trip Iowa, we're traveling the western stretch of Iowa's Lincoln Highway, from Boone County to Council Bluffs. We discover the cultural and historical landmarks, tranquil landscapes, and proud heritage.
Well, cheers to Templeton, right?
Yes, cheers.
Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday at 9 a.m.
Coming up on Studio 3 Live, we welcome Neil Anders and the Brothers Merritt.
The music comes first, and then I kind of just sing gibberish and figure out what my subconscious is trying to channel.
Friday evening at 8:30 on Iowa PBS.
It's a scoreless game through 40 minutes of soccer. What a championship here in Class 2A in Ames at the Cyclone Sports Complex here on Iowa PBS. Going through the coin toss right now. Who will get the ball first to begin overtime number one? Again, it will be sudden victory. And when we come back, we will resume play as you're watching the 2A state championship here on Iowa PBS. Let's see who wins this toss.
All right. Okay, perfect. Defend that side. Ball first, head in that direction. Guys, we all understand the rules of this?
DCG
First
winning
win,
the
we all go
toss
home.
and picking
All
the
right,
side where the sun is not.
Guys, we have to run again. Congratulations.
See how it goes when we return. The 2A championship will pick up again.
On the next Road Trip Iowa, we're traveling the western stretch of Iowa's Lincoln Highway. From Boone County to Council Bluffs, we discover the cultural and historical landmarks, tranquil landscapes, and proud heritage.
Well, cheers to Templeton, right?
Yes, cheers.
Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday at 9 a.m.
Compassionate, selfless, and starved for support.
Everybody needs care at some point.
These hidden heroes struggle to serve the needs of friends and loved ones.
These are heroic people that are caregivers, period.
The fight to create a new culture of care.
Caregiving is a source of pride, a source of sadness, and oftentimes joy.
Coming to Iowa PBS June 24th.
The age of discovery is now. It's like magic.
Act like you're having a good time.
I am.
Isn't it wonderful? Hey, I can do better than that.
Brace yourself. The world's changing.
Very poetic.
It's one of the coolest animal stories on the planet.
This role as a caregiver is an emotional ride.
Be ready to be amazed and have that wonder.
The Grand Canyon is the one great sight which every American should see. That's what President Theodore Roosevelt said in 1903 when he first saw this natural wonder. We invite you to experience the majesty of the Grand Canyon and other stunning sights in Arizona on our 6-day Great Trains and Grand Canyons journey. Discover the awe of Arizona's most stunning vistas. To request a brochure, call 800-728-2828 or view it online at iowapbs.org/events.
State title on the line here in Class 2A as you're watching the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Soccer Championships here on Iowa PBS with Jake Johnson. I am BJ Shaban here from Ames at the Cyclone Sports Complex, and we are into overtime. And just as a reminder, in overtime, we'll put 10 minutes up on the clock. It is sudden victory. And if nobody scores, we'll go into overtime number 2. If that remains clean on the scoreboard, we'll go to penalty kicks. Let's see what happens here. Now, the sun has gone away. Waverly-Shell Rock lost the coin toss. Dallas Center-Grimes wanted to have the sun. And since we were gone, in about 60 seconds, a cloud has smothered up that sun again. So it's not quite the advantage as it may have been at the end of regulation.
That's right, but who knows if it'll peek itself out here and make a difference. And then again, because they switched sides at the turn of the first versus second overtime, it actually could play badly the other way.
Here's Ott looking to end it.
And again, getting a foul.
And right at the box, and it will be another free kick here coming up for Waverly-Shell Rock. Their first attempt towards the end of regulation did not look sharp. Again, it's sudden victory here. Doing the chores will be Addie Ott, twin sister to Annika. Again, they're going to decide who will do the kicking. Will it be Englund or Ott?
At DCG's 11 behind the ball, they recognize how dangerous this could be.
And here's the shot by Englund. Going to be blocked, laying the body on the line, but off of the rebound, that shot goes out. It'll be a goal kick here coming up.
Again, something to notice there is the player did not touch the ball. And DCG encroaching on the play and actually blocking that free kick again. You know, something taking advantage of there.
Boy, each team laying it on the line. We're seeing that. A lot of body blows on some shots here as this one's progressed throughout.
Yep, the physicality of the game. These players have played 80 minutes, just, you know, high tempo. So there's going to be some tired legs here and just players digging as deep as they can to try to pull on this win for their team.
How about the maneuverability by Addie Lane there? Here's Glasgow deep. Hoffbauer looking to move it down the field. Hoffbauer with a shot and on a hop, going to be brought in by Reichertz.
Yep, good look there, and I believe actually playing through a foul there. Again, that toughness and that urgency to try to score without relying on a free kick to do it. Nice job from Dallas Center-Grimes.
Out ahead to Heidgerken. Waverly-Shell Rock. Mustangs battling it out. Here's Knief. Last time we saw an overtime was back in 2023 in the 3A title game. That one went all the way to PKs between Johnston and West Des Moines Valley. Eventually won by the Dragons. Clean play will resume.
Yep, good job from the referee letting all those things go.
Sean Geiza has had his hands full today, to say the least.
Not jealous.
Bieneman with the long, deep toss to Ott. She'll work it to the outside. Ott could not catch up to it. It'll be a goal kick here for Dallas Center-Grimes.
Now playing on a yellow card as well. Doing a good job of still staying aggressive, still doing the defensive work rate to win the ball back. You know, it's a sign of maturity when a player can play with a yellow card and, you know, risk, you know, going as hard as she is.
Third time in the last 5 years these two have met in the state championship. It's one of the most respected rivalries in high school soccer right now. Waverly-Shell Rock and Dallas Center-Grimes. And you can see why. Into overtime number 1. Numerous fouls throughout this one. Numerous shots on goal. Ott almost had an opportunity to break that one free, but terrific play by the Mustangs.
Calling a penalty here, you know, Ott actually stayed on her feet, but the referee's still calling it, which you like to see, because not all players will kind of embellish fouls like that and will play through a lot. And, you know, referees still making a call there, which could end up dangerous. This is, you know, not as good as an angle as the last 2 free kicks they've had from on top of the box, but able to push numbers in the box.
Here's Addie Ott towards the net. That's just going to be wide left.
DCG able to get themselves out of those free kick opportunities. We got 5 minutes left to play in the first overtime.
It's sudden victory. 5 minutes into overtime number 1. Budding momentum for each.
It's great to see from both sides as we have fans of all ages who are eager to have their team be successful.
Glasgow in the center. Lane with the push.
Good checking of the shoulder there.
Mickelson with the blast. And it's tipped up, but over the net, so we will see a corner kick coming up for Dallas Center-Grimes. How about that? Anna Mickelson with the blast.
That was excellent. Just seeing the, you know, checking her shoulder here to see what pressure was coming from behind, touching it to the opposite side of where the pressure was coming from to set up for a shot, and putting that one on frame, and absolutely great save there to keep him off the scoreline.
Here's the corner. They'll go charging in the centering pass. That'll be deflected out, and how about the scoop and save by Reichertz?
Sure hands as well, had the first saved and looks confident on the ball. I mean, just not letting anything through, not giving up second opportunities, pushing balls out of the box, just doing a great job of making sure that they don't give up you know, any gifts for Dallas Center-Grimes who are eager to gobble up.
That one-timer coming in from Addie Lane denied. So the Go-Hawks can breathe a little bit. Now they go down the far sideline with Ott. Williamson stems the tide. Mustangs right at midfield.
Good control from the center mid there.
Trying to roll it ahead here. Bieneman redirects.
The two center midfielders for DCG doing a great job of you know, snuffing out any transitions here to create second, third, fourth opportunities.
Mustangs will go with the throw here. 3 minutes left for overtime number 1. Again, substitutions. This time for DCG coming in is going to be Olivia Ewers back into the lineup. She comes in for Addie Lane.
You know, as much as DCG subs their players to keep tempo high, I think the you know, entire squad who's played today has done a great job of bringing something to the game, keeping that energy high, and you know, not allowing for really much space for Waverly to operate in.
Mustangs still control it. That's Hoffbauer. Goes to the outside to Ewers. Trying to measure the defense. Ewers back to her left. Centers it to Knief. Knief with the blast, and it's going to be hauled in by Reichertz. With the defense opening up a little bit, but Reichertz holding ground for Waverly-Shell Rock.
That's right. Those were sure hands. A good job turning outside the box, having that little bit of space, pushing it on her favored right, and getting a first look.
Boy, what fun this is. Overtime number 1, still scoreless, under 2 minutes to play.
Good layoff. Ooh.
Ott will get it back on the return. Look out through traffic, and we will see another foul. And will we see a yellow card? Yes, we will. And that is going to go against Dallas Center-Grimes, Ava Mickelson. But how about this? Free kick here coming up. Ken, this is going to be the third that's deep.
Right in and around the top of the box area. This one is actually a little bit farther out, which is, you know, a little bit easier to actually get a ball up and over a wall and to start tipping near goal. Again, DCG being able to block both of these last 2 free kicks. Now Waverly electing to only have 1 on the ball, so there's not going to be as much confusion of who had touched it last, and Waverly looking like they're setting up to serve the box.
Addie Ott marks it ready for play. Here we go. Ott towards the net. It's up, and that is just over the top of the bar.
DCG.
Whoa.
Big sigh of relief there. Big sigh of relief. That puts us with just about a minute and a half left in the first overtime, and again, escaping those dangerous free kicks from on top of the box.
The goal kick from Torski. Ott ahead. Here's Englund. Englund still battling for that ball. No advantage gained. We'll resume play. Now the blast from up top will go wide left by Addie Ott.
Referee close enough there to make a determination. No penalty. You'd kind of hate to also see a referee decide the outcome so late in overtime like that. So really great job from the referee there, letting that one go, and managing what has been a chaotic and fun final here for the 2A state championship.
Overtime number 1, 40 seconds to play. Barons with the deep throw. Williamson will head it out for the moment. That one's going to be played up in the air. Englund trying to get it, does gain the advantage. Will it get cleared? Not yet. DCG will push it ahead with Mickelson. Still hold. Under 15 seconds to play now. In overtime number 1, it is sudden victory. Each team has had their chances throughout regulation and in overtime. And that's going to end overtime number 1. As what a half, what an overtime. A 5-minute break and then 10 more minutes of play. As we head to overtime number 2 next. Still scoreless in the 2A title match as you're watching it here on Iowa PBS.
Coming up on the next episode of Iowa Life, we'll learn how young people in the deaf and hard of hearing community share their love of baseball.
Even though you do have this impairment, that it doesn't have to stop you.
We'll take a peek under the surface of a high school synchronized swimming club. And we'll meet a Des Moines handyman who shares his love of mini bikes. All that and more on the next Iowa Life.
Tuesdays at 6:30 and Sundays at 10:30.
Such a meaningful part of Iowa PBS is the coverage of unique Iowa events. And part of that is our high schools and our kids programs, whether it's athletics or otherwise. The state fair coverage, that's such a part of the fabric of Iowa. And I think just the programming that covers things meaningful to our people in our state.
To learn more about becoming a corporate sponsor on Iowa PBS, call or visit us online.
So here we go, second overtime. 10 minutes are going to be put up on the board as we are still scoreless. Waverly-Shell Rock and Dallas Center-Grimes. Here's the overtime rules. We've gone through one 10-minute overtime period. Sudden victory. Now, if they're still tied after this next 10 minutes, we're going to PKs, and it doesn't get any more exciting than that. Now, I know if you're a parent, you're a player, you're kind of sitting on the edge of your seat. But for us, that's pretty exciting.
It is. It's great for viewership. It's great for these fans who've all traveled extremely well and supported their girls fighting this one out. And it's one where the goalkeepers, they're kind of expected not to save penalties, and so all of a sudden you get these heroic efforts and moments from goalkeepers that can make a really huge impact on the game, as we potentially have PKs just decided with this remaining second overtime of 10 minutes.
Your average soccer fan tuning in for the first time has to enjoy this, because it has been on the edge of your seat through the first 90 minutes of soccer.
That's right, 0-0. Some people might assume that must not be an exciting watch, but it has been quite the opposite here.
Who's got the energy? Third game in 5 days for these two teams. Now, it's different from what it historically has been. They give you a day of rest in between the quarterfinals to the semifinals, then another day before championship Saturday. But it still takes a toll on you. Here's Knief in the offensive zone. Over to Hoffbauer. Trying to figure it out. Now to Knief in the middle. The shot gonna be batted down. What a play by Stella Reicherts. Knocked it down, then smothered it.
Yep, DCG applauding each other, trying to ride that momentum. Good job from Waverly there. Sure, with the save, not letting any rebounds up, because again, DCG will press to try to score off those rebounds.
Angle to Ott. Waverly-Shell Rock's opportunity. Ott finally getting some space to work it. To Englund. And Williamson says no. Back to midfield we go. Collision right at the midfield. We will have a whistle.
That's a great call. It's the offsides, actually.
Okay, offsides.
Yep, she was just behind the defense there, which Waverly doing a good job of, bringing that line forward, making sure that they're not, allowing for any space in the midfield to be played, and rewarded there with an offsides call.
Now the blast to the middle. Williamson using her head. This one batted down. Heidgerken slow to get up off that turf. It's been that type of day, but here's Ott to the middle, deep in the box. Physical play will resume.
Great job from the referee, actually. I think that was not a foul. Great defense from DCG in a pretty risky situation. Again, Ott asking the question, knocking on the door, creating opportunities in the box. again, a player that doesn't need a ton of chances to create a difference in the game.
Think about this, though. At the end of regulation and in that first overtime, Waverly-Shell Rock has had 3 opportunities on point or near the box and haven't been able to get a really good shot on goal.
Yep, it's one where obviously they'll look back at those opportunities regrettably, but you know, it's also something where DCG defended well. They closed down, you know, 2 of those free kick opportunities, you know, to block them before they could get in the box. They had dealt with 1 shot wide fairly well, and then goalkeepers had sure hands.
Ott doing a good job of boxing out. Flips it to a teammate. This one going to be left up in the air. Here's England with an opportunity. The blast denied. Laying out for it. Can DCG clear? Williamson will.
Yeah, well defended from DCG again there.
Knief with the lob ahead. She's telling her teammate, Heidgerken, go get it.
Yep, anytime you can make that back line for Waverly-Shell Rock turn and have to deal with pressure from behind, that's a tactic that DCG employs well. They rotate players so they can keep the tempo high enough to be able to do that. And here you see them rewarded with, you know, a 1 versus 3, but winning a throw-in deep in the half and now transitioning into more of a half-field set where they can try to recycle play, keep it, you know, getting in the box area to create some danger.
Heidgerken with the throw. Goes right to the middle. This one going to squib through, but again hauled in wisely by Reichertz, who quickly will rush the ball out.
Yeah, Reichertz, you know, trying to collect these balls as well and look to counter directly from her as well. Looking to catch DCG off guard.
Physical play on the tackle. Hoffbauer trying to charge it ahead. Hoffbauer at the point. The shot up, and it hits the post and is grabbed. Did it go in? Yes! Dallas Center-Grimes will win it.
What a cut in and what a finish. Referee on the line, able to see that the ball crossed the line, and DCG celebrating. That's the golden goal to win the state title.
Wow! Hoffbauer, the senior, going on to play at Central Missouri, won't forget that. It hits the post, comes back down, and just has enough spin to just get across the line. And with 5:52 to play in overtime number 2, the Mustangs win the Class 2A state title. Are you kidding me?
What a showcase. What a showcase of talent from both programs, both coaching staffs, both laying everything on the line.
It's a 4-peat for Dallas Center-Grimes as they win the 2A championship here in double overtime. And for Waverly-Shell Rock, just a shame. What effort they had throughout the game.
It was always going to be close.
Oh, it was from the get-go. As the teams will go back and we'll have the awards coming up here shortly. Wow, what a finish. As the Mustangs 4-peat.
Yeah, 4-peated with several starters graduated from last season. Players who were ready to step up and play that role. Grew throughout the year. It's a good job from Dan James there to keep a system rolling there. Win the 4th state title in a row.
Playing in their 5th straight state title match. They've got something special happening at Dallas Center-Grimes, no question, but also at Waverly-Shell Rock. Getting here once again, this time coming up short, as the Mustangs will win the Class 2A state championship, joining Davenport Assumption, who won the 1A title earlier today over Denver 2-0, and Waukee Northwest, who won their school's first state soccer title, besting Linmar 3-2. As we will be awaiting the all-tournament team selection here in a moment, as the pink shirts are out and on for Dallas Center-Grimes, and some of them have a dresser full. It's time now to Here are the all-tournament team selection. Here's Jason Esslinger.
Clark and Mr. Ron Fodness. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting your Class 2A all-tournament team. From Dallas Center-Grimes, Emerson Torski. From Dallas Center-Grimes, Alexandra Hoffbauer. From ADM, Jada Grove. From Cedar Rapids Xavier, Macy Herding. That second Dallas Center-Grimes player was Alexandra Hoffbauer. From Cedar Rapids Xavier, Reese Commenda. From Pella, Avery Hunsinger. From Independence, Addison Lang. From Indianola, Lauren Burke. From Waverly-Shell Rock, Sydney Bieneman. From Dallas Center-Grimes, Neela Williamson. And your captain of the Class 2A all-tournament team from Waverly-Shell Rock, Annika Ott.
There's your all-tournament team. And for Annika Ott, tough to smile through, but what an effort. And what a selection for the all-tournament team. As you see, 3 Mustangs named to that all-tournament team, 2 from Waverly-Shell Rock. Quite the crew.
Quite the crew indeed. Definitely proud of the 2 representing Xavier High School as well. So shout out to Macy and Reese.
Yep, being part of that all-tournament team. As we await the trophy presentation for each of these 2 schools, let's turn it back over to Jason Esslinger.
In addition to receiving medallions, each player will receive commemorative soccer balls provided by the Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Class 2A runners-up, the Waverly-Shell Rock Go-Hawks and head coach Scott Shera on a fantastic season. And presenting for the 4th straight year, your Class 2A state champions, head coach Dan James and the Dallas Center-Grimes Mustangs.
It's a 4-peat for the Mustangs, and they do it in double overtime. With 5:52 to play, they get a goal right at the top on point by Alexandra Hoffbauer to win it, and Dan James gets victory number 345. What a way to get it.
Yeah, again, 345 victories. That's a lot of different ways that those victories came, and this one was hard-earned. Both sides absolutely laying everything on the line. 2 well-matched opponents, and again, DCG just coming up with the win late in the game.
Well, let's take a look at that championship goal by Hoffbauer. Again, one that will be memorized for a long time. At the point, it hits the post, and it just bounced in off of the carom of the top bar. Watch this. Boom. In. And it was grabbed by Reichertz. Did that go in? Did anybody see it? It did go in. And that's your championship winner, Alexandra Hofbauer. Hits the championship goal for Dallas Center-Grimes, which just caps off a fantastic day today.
Absolutely. 3 fantastic games. This one a little drier than the other 2, I think, earlier today. But the quality of girls soccer in the state of Iowa put on showcase greatly at the state tournament.
It is a final. 3 championships in the book. The 2025 season is now complete. Davenport Assumption winning the 1A title, 2-0 over Denver. Waukee Northwest a winner over Linmar in the 3A championship, 3-2. And in double overtime, Dallas Center-Grimes 4-peats. Want to remind you, more state championships come your way at the end of July. Paul Yeager and company in Fort Dodge for the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Softball Championships. For Jake Johnson, Jordan Burns, Heather Kearns, our entire crew, I'm BJ Shaven saying so long from Ames as you've been watching the Girls State Soccer Championships.
Funding provided by
Musco Lighting is honored to support Iowa PBS. We're an Iowa company that lights local schools, community fields, and stadiums, arenas, and venues in more than 125 countries. While our reach is global, our commitment is local.
Fareway Meat and Grocery. For more than 80 years, Fareway has been proud to be an active part of the communities we serve. Learn more at fareway.com.
Across Iowa, hundreds of neighborhood banks strive to serve their communities, provide jobs, and help local businesses. Iowa banks are proud to back the life you build. Learn more at iowabankers.com.
With our Iowa roots and Midwestern values, Farmers Mutual Hail is committed to offering innovative farm insurance for America's farmers, just as we have for 6 generations. Farmers Mutual Hail, America's crop insurance company.